Alright, what's up guys? This is Saxon, man. We are coming back off of our sweet, crisp 7-day suspension. And we're going to do a little bit of a Raszageth Saxon Pug tutorial on how to pug down Raszageth so you can be better than your own guilds. So we're going to go over a couple of things. You want to pick up literally the best people you can. You don't want to dilly-daddle around and pick up the first, people. But always people with Warlock. Love those guys. Mwah. Straight into the fight here. So, this group doesn't lust on pull because we have an insane amount of damage. If you don't have a lot of damage, you can just, you can lust on pull and then lust in phase 3. Both strategies do work. During the fight here in phase 1, super simple, left, right, center for your static drops. The center one needs a little yellow marker and you gotta tell those guys that they gotta get to the yellow marker. So all the melee can keep hamming up boss so you can push boss before, bonus mechanics happen and people die to bonus mechanics. Don't get hit by breath. Pretty easy peasy phase. Just do all the damage. You can have people pop potions here because they will be up for second shield and that's the dangerous shield. But this one was dropped really poorly, so we're all standing way back here and then boss gets dragged out of place and then you run the risk of more static damage on top of your entire raid. Which is cheeks, to be honest. Alright, I'm gonna go quiet here and we're gonna hang out, get through phase 1. Right here, this is where you want to use a raid cooldown like Rally, and also like people's personal defenses, it's a big danger spot. And then when everyone piles back up, you want to use like an AMZ or a Darkness, or both, preferably on top of the raid and not under boss where it missed, 3/4 of the raid. But the Rally there saves a lot of people, so always have one warrior. Rally is super strong raid buff. Make sure you're calling for it. If you don't call for it, warriors just won't click it. Alright, so then hopefully before the raid started, you split the groups evenly. Odds left, evens right. You just need a full even split as best you can. If one side ends up with pushing faster than the other, just move some DPS around because some classes are better at AoE than others. During this phase, you get Raszageth's breathe ability where she flies over and cooks anybody who's in the path. One side will have bad breaths, and those will go right over top of the ads, and the other side will usually get breath in between the ads if you're pushing in that phase correctly. On this kill, left side got the easy breath. See how it's going to be behind us, so it doesn't matter. We can just completely ignore it. But the right side is getting breath directly on top of ad, and you always want to be pulling the ad towards the next spot. You never want to go backwards here. You're going to lose a bunch of time. CC here? My god, please, for the love of God, everyone starts CCing. It literally makes the ads do 0 damage. If you have misdirects or tricks, do that for the tanks. Especially if they're warrior tanks, they usually have trouble getting AoE aggro sometimes in between their own cooldowns. But this phase is like really unimportant. You just need enough DPS to get through it. So you want to be as single target as possible for this fight. Unless you're parsing, of course, then you ham up those ads. You just tear them apart. You get here early. The other side, you check their health. Like, okay, they're gonna get over here in time. Boss comes over here. This is free damage on the boss that you want to get as much in as possible. Like during this phase, you want to squeeze in as much damage to make phase 3 as low health as possible, because the lower health phase 3, the easier the fight is. Here we're gonna have everybody spread for statics, or static charges, whatever you want to call them. Negatives are going in, positives are going out. And it's really important everyone spreads, because if, opposites touch, big pulse damage, right? You can use some raid cooldowns on this one if your raid takes a bit longer to get on top of the stacks. Like we have a bunch of darkness here, but we only have one rally, so we want to save our rally for the really dangerous spots during the wave pushes. But darkness and AMZs here are really great. During the first wave, if you have a warlock, like every good raid should, they should always have their token warlock. You just take the portal through the first one, and then you want everyone to start spreading out as fast as possible because they're going to get those charges. And then if you don't have the charges, you get out of it. And if you do have the charges, you immediately push to the sides using any speed buffs you have. You get the little CC ads. Fuck the CC ads. This is where you want to rally here. So raid cooldown is really great for this spot. And then everyone pushes in. But since we have rally, we want to try and avoid using like all of our roars, all of our Windrush totems, stuff like that. Since we have the rally still riding that one out. Second charges. It's just the same as the first. But this is the dangerous one, right? Especially if you lusted in phase 1. See, we're lusting here. So we can get through the dangerous phase as efficiently as possible and pile boss damage in. If you are lusting phase 1 to avoid second set of ads, then second battle potions from all your DPS is a must here. Because that shield phase is extremely dangerous. Another set of balls. If you have another warrior, this is where you would do another rally. Make sure everyone's AoE CC, and this is where you want to do a roar, and then everyone should be looking to drink their health pots on that one. That one is really super dangerous, and you should have Lock Cookie's health pots on that push. Other than that, we got through P2 shields in that second wave as best as possible. And now we just push to this next one, don't lose anybody, last shield phase, and then we're in the phase 3, or 2.5 really. During this Storm Surge, I'm a big fan of using whatever raid cooldowns we have left. So I always call for all AMZs, all rallies, all darknesses, anything to just keep the raid alive. This is literally like final survival moment, and they should be back up for when we get to phase 3. So your P1.5 splits, you just do this again with odds left, evens right on the ads. And you're just hamming these ads up. This phase is super easy. You just 100% just eat these ads alive. The second you get your breath warnings, everybody just gets off of the ad. They dodge balls. Balls don't even do that much damage. Dodge balls, and everyone just runs away. You just run away. Play it super safe. And then you just go back. And then, so they switch here, and you just want to AoE stun the little ads underneath the big ads. And this just lets you cleave all them down without doing any of that weird organizing people in the center to ham up both sets of ads at the same time. No, we don't care about that. We just want to hit these big electric ball guys as much as possible and dodge balls. If your DPS is really good, they'll kill the ad in this spot, but it's fine if you get another set. We killed both. Start screaming for the entire raid to get to this spot because it's going to launch us all. And then we go into phase 3, which is the easiest phase. Mechanically, by far, 100% the easiest phase. It's amazing how nice that they made the final phase. So you're just hamming up boss. If you have Lust is probably at like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes until it pops here, or maybe even a minute if your group's a bit slower. Just pop Lust on cooldown, pop third battle potions on cooldown. You're just squeezing in as much damage as possible, and tanks are mitigating. The magnetic is the important thing. So magnetic dodges breath and pulls everybody so they're still in range of boss. You don't want to ever pull the entire raid out of range of boss. You're gonna have a bunch of downtime. So everyone pushes out of these like they did in phase 2. It's kind of harder because, you know, we all ended up on top of each other and did a pre-spread for it. If you get that dot on you from those charges, you need to pop a personal defensive. That dot hits like a truck. We do like to stack up on the ass over and over again since boss is a bit like wonky here and it's hard to get everybody stacked up for raid heals. So we do thick thighs save lives here. Breath. We're gonna get another static here soon. Or not static, but the magnetic charge. And this magnetic charge, he does the... Yeah, he does this one correctly. It's the last one that's done incorrectly. So he does this one correctly. And you just beat boss up. These people need to like sacrifice themselves and get into the cloud. Because you just do it. You take an L for the team and get in the cloud. You try to get stacked up so you can get some more sweet raid heals on. I have no idea what that guy is doing. He's popping AMZ early, but this guy does it incredibly wrong. He takes the entire raid out into the cloud like an animal during wave. He almost wiped us there. Like if boss had, you know, another 3%, that would have wiped us. It would have been a massive pain.